Hi, people. Welcome to the Town Library's The Story Shelf, Day 2, Story 2. Some warriors are known for their strength, others are known for the divine path that they are destined to walk. Today's story is about how the hero, who's a mortal, meets heavenly power. Today we are doing Gods and Monsters, Myths and Tales short stories. And the story I have picked is Arjuna's celestial gifts. Now, the Pandavas needed celestial weapons because these were owned by Drona, Bhishma, and Karna. In time, therefore, the holy sage Vyasa appeared before Arjuna and told him to go to Mount Kailasa, the high seat of the gracious god Shiva, and to perform penances there with deep devotion in order to obtain gifts of alms. So Arjuna went on his way, and when he reached the mountain of Shiva, he went through great austerities. He raised his arms in the air and, leaning on nothing, stood on his tiptoes. For food, he ate withered leaves at first, then he fed on air alone. The rishis pleaded with Shiva, fearing disaster from the penances of Arjuna. Then the god assumed the form of a hunter and went towards Indra's warrior son, whom he challenged to single combat. First, they fought with weapons, then they wrestled one another fiercely. In the end, Arjuna fell to the ground. When that brave Pandava regained consciousness, he made a clay image of Shiva, threw himself down in worship, and made an offering of flowers. Soon afterwards, he saw his opponent wearing the garland he had given, and he knew that he had wrestled with Shiva himself. Arjuna fell down before him, and the god gave him the celestial weapon named Pasupata. Then a great storm broke out, and the earth shook, and the spirit of the weapon stood beside Arjuna ready to obey his will. Next appeared Indra, king of gods, Varuna, god of waters, Yama, king of dead, and Kuvera, lord of treasures. And they stood on the mountain summit in all their glory. To Arjuna they gave gifts of other celestial weapons. Afterwards, Indra transported his son to his own bright city, the celestial Swarga, where the flowers always bloom and sweet music is forever wafted on fragrant winds. There he saw sea-born Apsaras, the heavenly brides of gods and heroes, and music-loving Gandharvas, who sang songs and danced merrily in their joy. Urvasi, a beautiful Apsara with bright eyes and silken hair, looked with love at Arjuna, but she sought in vain to subdue him, at which she scornfully said, Kama, god of love, has wounded me with his arrows, yet you scorn me. For this, Arjuna, you will live for a season as a dancer and musician ignored by women. Arjuna was troubled by this, but Indra told him that the curse would work in his favor. So Arjuna remained in Indra's fair city for 5 years. He achieved great skill in music, in dance and song. He was also trained to wield the celestial weapons which the gods had given to him. Now the demons and giants, who are named the Daityas and Danavas, were the ancient enemies of Indra. They hailed from the lowest division of the underworld beneath the ocean floor in a place called Patala. And a day came when Arjuna waged war with them. He rode away in Indra's great car, which sailed through the air like a bird, driven by Matali. When he reached the shore of the sea, the waves rose against him like great mountains, and the waters were divided. He saw demon fish and giant tortoises, and vessels laden down with rubies. But he did not pause, as he was without fear. Arjuna was eager for battle, and he blew a mighty blast on his war shell. The Daityas and Danavas heard him and quaked with terror. Then The demons beat their drums and blew their trumpets, and amid the dreadful racket and wallowing sea monsters rose up and leapt over the waves against Indra's great sun. But Arjuna chanted mantras, he shot clouds of bright arrows, he fought with his bright celestial weapons, and the Furies were thwarted and beaten back. They then sent fire against him and water, and they flung huge rocks, but he fought on until in the end he triumphed, killing all that stood against him. Afterwards, the valiant hero quickly rode towards the city of demons and giants, which is named Hiranyapura. The women came out to lure him, calling aloud. He heard them but did not pause. All these evil giant women fled in confusion, terrified by the noise of Indra's celestial car and the driving of Matali, and their earrings and necklaces fell from their bodies like boulders tumbling and thundering down mountain slopes. When Arjuna entered the city of Hiranyapura, he gazed with wonder at the mighty chariots with 10,000 horses, which were steady and proud, and he wrecked the dwellings of the Daityas and Danavas. Indra praised his warrior son for his valor in overcoming the demons and giants of the ocean, and he gave him a chain of gold, a bright crown, and the war shell which gave a mighty thunderous blast. This story for me clearly shows that courage, bravery is, I think, the most important weapons that we have. And my takeaway from this Arjuna's characteristics are why fear when you're on the right path? I think you just have the best of powers coming to you and it naturally happens. Please let me know how you all found the story and maybe smaller things that you all could take away from this. We would love to hear. See you soon at the town libraries, the story shelf.